Greetings, wonderful audience. Amarjit here from Amar PTE classes. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. So do subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed yet, and share these videos with your friends also. Now in today's video I am going to perform a live mock test of the listening section. So first of all, keep your pen and paper ready along with this video, because we will do some task of the speaking section and some task of the listening section. So first task of the listening section means these are the modules which are contributing in the listening section of the PTE. First is the repeat sentence. Basically this is the module of the speaking section, but it is contributing in the listening section also. Next one is the retell lecture. It is the most important task according to the listening point of view as well as according to the speaking point of view. Next important task is summarize spoken text, and this is somewhat similar to the retell lecture. In retell lecture you will hear a lecture and after that you have to repeat the lecture in your own words, means you can follow the template. But in case of summarize spoken text, you will hear the lecture but you have to write the lecture by using the template. So in this case you have to speak, but in this case you have to write, and the word limit is 50 to 70 words. Next is listening filling the blanks. Most important task of the listening section as well as the writing section, because it is contributing 14 marks, 7 in writing and 7 in listening. Next important task for the listening point of view is the highlight incorrect words. So highlight incorrect word is the most important task, but some students got fumble in highlight incorrect words. So I will share the strategies how you can attempt the highlight incorrect word easily. Next is the write from dictation, and write from dictation is somewhat similar to the repeat sentence. In the repeat sentence you have to repeat the sentence in the same sequence like in the speaking, but in case of write from dictation you have to write the sentence but you can change the sequence of the words in write from dictation. So question is this, कि if you want to achieve 55, 60, 70 or even 70 plus, so these are the important tasks which are contributing in the listening section: repeat sentence, retell lecture, summarize spoken text, listening filling the blanks, highlight incorrect words and the write from dictation. So without wasting of time, let's start the test. So total time period is 63 minutes. So check your microphone.
Application form.
So it's working. Microphone is working. Microphone is working. So first question of repeat sentence.
Don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions.
Don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions.
Please go straight and turn left to reach the library.
Please go straight and turn left to reach the library.
Many of the most popular courses are available online.
Many of the most popular courses are available online.
You have to submit projects by the end of this week.
You have to submit projects by the end of this week.
I will be in my office every day from 10 to 12.
I will be in my office every day from 10 to 12.
You should return books to the library before ending your term.
You should return book to the library before ending your term.
I won't be able to attend the lecture because I have a doctor appointment.
I won't be able to attend the lecture because I have a doctor appointment.
Few people now are skeptical about alternative power sources such as wind power.
few people about alternative power sources such as wind power.
It's important that humans dispose of their waste in appropriate ways.
It's important that humans dispose of their waste in appropriate ways.
On our campus, prospective students have access to 13 college libraries.
On our campus, prospective students have access to 13 college libraries.
One solution is a system of electric cars available for hire on demand.
One solution is a system of electric cars available for hire on demand. So it's retail lecture. Try to note down phrases.
I've been thinking a lot about the world recently and how it's changed over the last 20, 30, 40 years. 20 or 30 years ago, if a chicken caught a cold and sneezed and died in a remote village in East Asia, it would have been a tragedy for the chicken and its closest relatives, but I don't think there was much possibility of us fearing a global pandemic and the deaths of millions. 20 or 30 years ago, if a bank in North America lent too much money to some people who couldn't afford to pay it back, and the bank went bust, that was bad for the lender and bad for the borrower, but we didn't imagine it would bring the global economic system to its knees for nearly a decade. This is globalization. This is the miracle that has enabled us to transship our bodies and our minds and our words and our pictures and our ideas and our teaching and our learning around the planet ever faster and ever cheaper. It's brought a lot of bad stuff, like the stuff that I just described, but it's also brought a lot of good stuff. A lot of us are not aware of the extraordinary successes of the Millennium Development Goals, several of which have achieved their targets long before the due date. That proves that this species of humanity is capable of achieving extraordinary progress if it really acts together and it really tries hard.
The speaker was discussing globalization. He talked about the past 20, 30 and 40 years. He mentioned that the chicken and its close relatives. He highlighted that too much money to some people. He discussed that the global economic system at its knees. Finally, he suggested that a lot of good stuff. Overall, the lecture was very informative.
Tomorrow's lecture has been cancelled. If today is Tuesday, then on which day is the lecture cancelled?
Wednesday.
In a hospital, who is the person that can write prescriptions?
Doctor.
If any experiment is duplicated, how many times it is performed?
2 times, twice.
What do things become when they come to a halt?
Stationary things.
What is the hard object in the center of peaches, apples and pears?
Stone.
What is the device that shows the time of the day according to the shadow of sunlight?
Sundial. So it's summarized spoken text. Try to note down the phrases in summarized spoken text.
Hi, my name is Bob Joss, and I'm the Dean of the Business School at Stanford University. On behalf of everyone from Stanford, we welcome you to this conference on education leadership. This is something relatively unheard of in higher education. I think it's where the business school gets together with the education school and talks about education leadership. The other purpose of Stanford University, of course, is to promote learning. The purpose of each school is for education to promote learning about education, and for the business school to promote learning about management. Most of the world's business services are delivered by management institutions that are for-profit managed institutions and not-for-profit managed institutions. We rely on management institutions that are chosen instruments in our society to get things done and implement services, particularly educational services, which are done generally by people on their own. However, they must realize that it is their own responsibility to achieve and accomplish. What others can do does not indicate what you are capable of. We want to make sure that here at Stanford, we're not only delivering the services, but demonstrating them too.
So in summarized spoken text, always try to write down in the form like 50 to 70 words, and the time limit is 10 minutes, and the timing of the audio is also included in the 10 minutes. So let's start. You can follow the template. The speaker was talking about, this is the line of the template, Stanford management. So Stanford is the name of something. So if you are writing the name of something, the first letter should be capital. Remember this point. Now full stop, then give a one space, and this is firstly. This is my template. Then give a comma, give a space, then he mentioned. Now next line of the template, the conference on educational leadership, the conference on education leadership, full stop, then give a space, then secondly, always start your line with capital letter, then give a comma. He discussed. So this is the line of the template. Business schools get together. So this is the line from the audio. Business schools get together. So this is the line of the template. Secondly, he discussed, and after that schools get together. But now schools get together is the present form of the tense, and this is the lecture in the past form. So we will do that. So if you are talking about when you will hear a lecture, then when you will write, then it's talking about the past. So if your template is in the past, obviously your template will in the past, but if you are writing the sentence in the present form, then always use that. Next, in addition, he explained that the purpose of each school is education. Moreover, the lecture was all about getting things done and implementing services. Overall, the lecture was very informative and useful for me. So proofreading is very important in this task. So check your spellings. The speaker was talking about this. Firstly, he mentioned the conference on education leadership. Secondly, he discussed is the line of the template, then business schools get together. So template is in the past but the phrase is in the present, so I am writing here that, so that we can avoid the grammar mistakes. Now in addition, he explained is the template in the past but the purpose of each school is education, the sentence is in the present form. So we will use that to connect two sentences. Moreover, the lecture was all about, so here it is was. So with was we use ing form. So here it is getting things done and implementing services. Overall, the lecture was very informative and useful for me. So you have to check the words. So now words is 57. So this is good. So always try to write down more than 50 words, but you can write also 50. So if the content is less, then you can repeat the content, but if the content is enough, then don't try to repeat the content. Remember this point. So next question is highlight correct summary.
Researchers report that women find a man they see with an attractive woman more desirable than unattached men. That's according to a study in the journal Evolutionary Psychology. Researchers had two groups of female college students rate photos of men, all of whom had first been rated as being of average attractiveness. The first group of 148 women was shown pictures of those men with an attractive female. The subjects were told that the women in the photos were either a girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, cousin, or adopted sister. And the subjects rated the men with the girlfriends as more desirable than the men shown with partners described as being exes or relatives. The second study group of 97 students were shown average-looking men with an attractive woman who was described as definitely a girlfriend. And again, the women rated the men with the good-looking gals as more desirable than the single guys. Plus, the attached men were thought more likely to be more intelligent, trustworthy, humorous, wealthy, and attentive.
So this is the question in the research, how do women think of men in different photos? And you can choose multiple options because this task has the negative marking. So I am sure in the option C and D. So I am choosing this. So if you are sure in particular option, then choose only that option because you are getting 1 to 2 points in the MCQ multiple answers. So click on the next button. Next question is the listening filling the blanks. So keep your cursor here so you can save your time.
So, palm oil is the most widely produced oil crop currently. It's used in a wide range of industries, including food for biofuels and in soaps and shampoo. However, those sectors growing fast, and unfortunately palm oil grows in exactly the same environment as tropical rainforest. So, the use and the development of palm oil, the growth in the sector, is leading to wide-scale deforestation. What we are hoping to do is if we can come up an alternative, we can slow the growth of the sector and therefore stop the wide-scale deforestation in South Asia.
So first is wide range of industry. So here it is wide range, means this is talking about the plural form. So here it is industries. So check your spellings of industries. Next is environment. And next is development. Next is come up an alternative. And next is deforestation. So if you have a confusion, then you can check the spellings of deforestation from here also in the second last line. So first one is industries, environment, development, alternative, and its deforestation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My theme for this session is Convergence Technology Change and Business Practice. This is somewhat dear to my heart, in that I have spent much of the last 15 years involved in various aspects of technology and their impact on business, across a broad spectrum, from applications of signal processing in manufacture right through to the use of utilization data and diary applications, to improve the time utilization of the sales force.
So first one is convergence. Now if you will see after blank, it's technology with capital T and change with capital C. So we will write convergence with capital C. So you have to take care of this thing in your mind when you are attempting the listening, filling the blanks. Next is aspects. So here it is years involved in various means different types, different kind of. So we will use here plural form of the verb. And next is broad spectrum. And last one is sales forces. So check your spellings: convergence, aspects, spectrum and sales. So you will get 2 to 3 questions in the final exam.
The earlier chocolate was quite unpalatable. They used to add things to it to make it more palatable, so for the early chocolate, they didn't know how to extract all the cocoa fat from it, so it was, or could be quite greasy, and if you made it as a drink you'd have this sort of scum on the top. So they used to try and add things to it, like starch and things, to make it a more palatable product. So there were a lot of scandals around the kind of things they were adding to chocolate in the 19th century. So by the sort of 1870s, 1880s, there are people like Cadbury's saying, our chocolate is absolutely pure. We have this new process, the Van Houten process, which now extracts all this horrible fat that we can use to make eating chocolate. Now we have a pure product.
So first one is cocoa, C-O-C-O-A. Next is be quite greasy. Next is like starch, scandals, a lot of means many. So here we will use plural form of verb. And this horrible. So horrible with double R. So check spellings: cocoa, greasy, starch, scandals and horrible. So this is highlight correct summary. You can choose only one option.
My best piece of advice would be to join like-minded groups. So for example, if you're into dance, join a dance group, and you can find a lot of these on, something like Meetup or some sort of app. But you want to find groups that are similar to you, and then you can build a friendship from there, because typically if you're interested in something, those might be those type of people that you want to build a friendship with. One of my favorite quotes from Maya Angelou, I think, can apply to friendships. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So when you're building friendships with people, they're going to show you initially who they are. So trust that. And I'm a big proponent of trusting your instincts and investing in friendships that make you feel comfortable from the outset.
So in the last, she was discussing you should trust your instincts. So you can find the answer of highlight correct summary in the end. And the starting of the paragraph was join like-minded groups, and in the end she was discussing you should trust your instincts and make friends with people. So MCQ single answer. You can choose only one option, and this is the main question.
The U.S. obesity epidemic continues to worsen. The latest reports show that 40% of U.S. women are obese, and American teenagers are also continuing to put on weight. The two reports from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show that efforts to encourage Americans to lose weight, at least to stop putting on more weight, are having little effect. Overall, 38% of U.S. adults are obese, and 17% of teenagers are as well. People are considered overweight when their BMI, or body mass index, hits 25, and they are considered obese when it gets to 30. People who are obese have higher rates of heart disease, diabetes, some cancers, arthritis, and Alzheimer's disease. Obesity has decreased a little among the youngest children, the researchers noted, but it's still going up among teens.
Select missing word.
Early jazz musicians were active in many cities and towns throughout the southern United States. It was New Orleans, with its long tradition of African American music, that was the home of many fathers of jazz. After World War I, the musicians of New Orleans joined the general northward migration of African Americans. The first great national center of jazz was Chicago. From there, the music entered the mainstream and even gave its name to the decade of the 1920s. Jazz, blending African American folk roots with elements of popular music and European classical traditions, has been called American.
I think B option is the correct.
The complex process inside a leaf takes energy from the sun and uses it to convert water and carbon dioxide into sugars. During this process, photosynthesis, plants convert light energy into chemical energy. All leaves carry out photosynthesis in basically the same way. First, the pores on the leaf's outer skin open up and take in molecules of carbon dioxide. Water absorbed by the roots is transported upward through the plant, and it enters the leaf through its stem. Carbon dioxide and water, these are the raw materials for photosynthesis. Once carbon dioxide and water are present, photosynthesis can
So highlight incorrect words. Most important task.
Yeast. They already participate in producing some of the most popular pain-killing substances around, beer and wine. Now, scientists have engineered yeast that can also make one of the most powerful analgesics, morphine. Their work is in the journal Nature Chemical Biology. Opiates like morphine and codeine are essential for treating severe pain. But making these meds isn't easy. All are derived from opium poppies, and tens to hundreds of thousands of tons are needed to meet global needs. The crops can also be affected by climate, disease, and even political turmoil in the countries where the plants are grown, which further limits commercial production. To get around these potential challenges, researchers have turned to yeast, an organism that can be grown easily on industrial scales. The scientists inserted into yeast cells a handful of genes isolated from the opium poppy. These genes encode the enzymes the plants use to produce opiates. After tweaking the system to adjust the relative amounts of the enzymes, the researchers could feed their yeast a precursor chemical called thebaine and get pure morphine in return. The yeast can't yet make opiates from scratch, but with a bit more effort and a few more enzymes, yeast may produce painkillers that are prescription strength. If you have a dog, you know you gotta walk it. But do you know how it walks? Well, if you have no idea which foot Fido puts forward when, you're in good company. Because according to a study published in the journal Current Biology, even places like natural history museums get it wrong half the time. Studies published back in the late 1800s showed that all four-legged animals walk the same way. They start by moving forward their left hind leg, followed by the left front leg. Then they repeat the sequence on the right-hand side. Different animals differ in the timing of their steps. The reason they walk that way is for stability. Lifting one leg at a time leaves 3 feet on the ground, forming a nice stable tripod to stand on. But not everyone seems to know that, even folks who should. Scientists looked at 300 depictions of animals walking, in museums, anatomy textbooks, even children's toys, and they found that nearly half the time these images get it wrong. For a toy, that kind of inattention to detail might mean that Rex has a tendency to roll over. But for museums to mess up like that, they just don't have a leg to stand on.
When we lie, our brains work hard to make sure we get the story right and come off as truthful. Law enforcement officials try to tap into that effort, for example with polygraphs, to find out if a suspect is telling the truth. But such stress tests are beatable and not admissible in court. Now comes a report that handwriting tests could be a competitor to the familiar but unreliable lie detector. The study appears in the Journal of Applied Cognitive Psychology. Researchers at Israel's Haifa University worked with 34 volunteers who wrote truthful and false paragraphs on paper using a wireless electronic pen and a pressure-sensitive tip. A computerized system measured pressure and stroke duration both on the paper and in the air. Spatial measures such as stroke length, height, and width were also tracked. And the scientists found significant differences in pressure and spatial measures in deceptive statements compared with the truth. The investigators say they need to validate this initial result and compare the technique with polygraphs and other lie detection tools. But perhaps in the future, even a written claim of innocence could turn out to be a de facto confession.
So next question is right from dictation.
Some young people find city life rather stressful.
So some young people find city life rather stressful. Some young people find city life rather stressful. So you have to start your sentence with the capital letter and you have to end your sentence with the full stop. So you can write 2 to 3 words extra, but my sentence is correct and it's giving some sense. Some young people find city life rather stressful. So check your spelling, stressful with single L, and city life, then people. So people is already plural, so we will not use S with people.
Children start producing words before they are able to walk.
So the sentence is, children start producing words before they are able to walk. So the sentence is, children start producing words before they are able to walk. So this sentence is making sense. This is the first phrase and this is the second phrase.
Participating in the work placement is beneficial to all students.
So sentence is, participating in the work placement is beneficial to all students. Participating in the work placement is beneficial to all students. So if you are confused in placement and placements, then we can write down the both words, and I am adding here the.
Companies' projects must adapt to the general data protection regulations.
So here it is, companies. So I am writing companies with the apostrophe S and I am writing companies with simple S, but I think it will be apostrophe S. So companies, projects must adopt, projects must adopt to the Journal Data Protection Regulations. So if you are confused in regulation and regulations, then you can add both. So here it is, company and companies with apostrophe S and simple S, And adopt, so must adopt, so I am reading adopt is the second form, adapt. Let's check the answers. So it will take some time to conclude the result because the speaking part will take some time. So meanwhile we can check the answers of the listening section. So this is the summarized spoken text. So you can check the phrases from here also. So if you are using a template, most of the students will use the template, but you know कि how to use the template. Means template is not enough to get good score in summarized spoken text, but if you know कि how to use the template, then you can get good score. So all the templates will be in the past form. If you are getting the template from the YouTube, from the Google, or from your institute, then all the templates will be in the past form. But if you are using a present sentence in the template, then you have to make sentence properly. Means your sentence should be make a sense. So this is the answer. These are the phrases. So you can check your phrases as well if you are doing test with me. This is MCQ multiple answers. So correct option was A, C, D, but I was not sure in the A option, so I have chosen only 2 options. And this is listening filling the blanks. So check your spellings: industries, environment, development, alternative, and deforestation. First question. And this is the second question: convergence with capital C, because the technology and the change is with the capital letter. So here convergence is with capital C. Aspects, spectrum, and sales. Third is cocoa, greasy, starch, scandals, a lot of a, with lot of we use plural form, and all this horrible. Next it is MCQ single answer. B option is the correct option. This is select missing words. So first one answer is D, but my answer was B. And this is B. Classical music. Now this is highlight incorrect words. I was not sure in the one word, so I choose only 5 options here. So because I first click the word, but after that I just again click the button because I was not sure. So here 6 words were incorrect. This task has the negative marking, so if you are not sure one particular word, then don't click that button because you can lose the marks of other words also. So this is 4 out of 4, 5 out of 5. And this is right from dictation. Some young people find city life rather stressful. Children start producing words before they are able to take. So if you want to improve your score in write from dictation, then you need to try to understand the meaning of the sentence. Because if you know the meaning of sentence in the Hindi and Punjabi, then you can make the sentence. So this sentence is making a particular sense because he is writing children start producing words before they are able to walk. So if you know the Hindi of the sentence or Punjabi, then you can make the sentence. Participating in the work placement, so here it is placement is beneficial to all students. So like here it is all, so with all we use plural form of the verb. So here it is student, we will write all students, not all student. So this is company's project must adapt to the General Data Protection Regulation. So here it is must है, so with must we use first form of verb. Now some students got confused कि ma'am where we write apostrophe s or the simple s. Now company's project, so these company projects are directly related to the data protection regulations. So if something is directly related or directly belong to something, then you will always use apostrophe s. But in write from dictation you can write down the both if you are confused कि we will use apostrophe s or the simple s. In write from dictation, you can add 2 to 3 words extra, but in summarize spoken text, you can't add extra words. So you have to check ki where we use apostrophe s and simple s. If something is belong to a particular situation, a particular person, then we will always write apostrophe s, otherwise we will write a simple s. So I will suggest you ki in summarize spoken text you can avoid these kind of words in which you are facing difficulty कि कौन से spellings correct होंगे और कौन से गलत होंगे. So this is all about the listening section. So I think it will take some time to compile the speaking section. Let's refresh it. So it will take time. So meanwhile we can check the repeat sentence. This is the first, second sentence, 86 it's. So this is
Many of the most popular courses are available online.
So in repeat sentence, content is not much important. If your desired score is 60 or 65, means you want to achieve 6 or 7. So if your desired score is more than 70 or 80, then you have to focus on the content as well. But make sure ki if the sentence is 10 words long and you are speaking only 5 words, then your fluency will not go. Means your fluency will come up with only a number of words. So if you will speak 6 to 7 words, then you will get the score in the fluency. You can try this thing in the repeat sentence. So next is, this is the score of the repeat sentence. So this is little bit lengthy, and this is 7 number question, and this is again next question. So this is the score of the repeat sentence. You can check it. So this is the score of the retail lecture. So it's 79 out of 90.
The speaker was discussing globalization. He talked about the CAS 20, 30 and 40.
So this is the template. The speaker was discussing, then phrase. He talked about is the template, then this is the phrase, and he mentioned that is the template and these are the phrases. So to get a good score in the fluency, you have to pick up the phrases. But if you are picking the keywords, then you will not get score in the fluency. So I am also getting low score in the fluency because it's 78. So always try to take a good score in the retail lecture, means more than 70, so that you can get good score in the retail lecture. So next is the answer short question. So sometime it will pick your answer, sometime it will not. So my answer was correct, but I think it was picking wrong.
Wednesday.
So answer was Wednesday, but I think it was taking wrong. Doctor, and this is 2 and twice. And this is what do things become when they come to a halt, that is stationary. And what is the hard object in the center of peaches? Core. And last one is device that shows the time of the day according to the shadow of sunlight. So it's obvious कि according to the shadow of sunlight means it's sundial. So let's check the score. So in listening it's 88 and it's speaking 38 and writing 49. Overall score is nothing because this is the section test of listening section. So if you are giving the mock test, then you will get the overall score, and this is the task wise score of the listening section. So in front these are the important tasks. So listening, write from dictation, repeat sentence, highlight one word was incorrect. Listening, filling the blanks, then retell lecture, then summarize spoken text. So this is the percentage of the score, and this is the overall score. So if you have any queries, any suggestions, means if you want to give some suggestions for my channel and for my teaching way, then you can write in the comment box. And thank you so much for subscribing my channel, and please share these videos with your friends. And if you need any kind of additional help, then you can contact me, and you can also mail me amarpteclasses@gmail.com. And thank you so much for watching my videos.